Hey guys, Mangaverse here, bringing you One Piece Chapter 1000, Straw Hat Luffy. On the cover page, we have the other side of the poster that was introduced to us in Chapter 999, and when put together, you get a full spread of all the Straw Hats, including Jinbei, on the cover. Now, let's jump into the chapter. In the beginning, we see Luffy arriving on the fifth floor, and he is greeted by a bunch of minks that are on the steps leading to the roof of the castle where Kaido is waiting. And he says, "Thanks, Lion Viper." Obviously, not remembering that his name is Shishilian, which he corrects him. But Luffy steamrolls past that and says, "Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I remember how you guys risked your lives to protect Rizzo. Thanks, I'll be back." And we see Shishilian clasp his hands in dread as of what happened on that roof, because they were all there fighting with the scabbards against Kaido, and they were all beaten down. Then we jump to inside Onigashima, where Marco is battling with King and Queen, and he holds them back. He says, "Easy now, stop freaking out, let him go." And he tosses Zoro all the way up to the roof just so that he could be there with the confrontation against Kaido and Big Mom. Then we jump in to Yamato and Momo, who are still in the room with the dragon sculpture. I want you guys to pay attention to the dragon sculpture because I don't think a lot of people noticed it. I'll elaborate on it later on into the video. But Yamato proceeds to give Odin's journal to Momo, saying that someone must have kept this journal safe from that burning castle. It contains everything there is to know about Odin's grand life and the world he experienced. Now, this raises a huge plot point that will probably be further expanded on in the future, because if you remember, all the way back at the Sabaody archipelago, Usopp asked Rayleigh, "What is the One Piece?" And Luffy stood tall and said, "I do not want to go on an adventure that isn't fun." And I'm wondering if we'll get some sort of rehash of this with Momo and Luffy over the notebook, because we know what's in the notebook about Laugh Tale and what Roger had to go through to get there and what is there and why they were too early and why they couldn't do anything at that particular point in time. So Yamato gives Momo the notebook and proceeds to tell him that you were born on Whitebeard's ship and that you traveled on Roger's ship, and they said 20 years in the New World, this place would be overrun by young, powerful new pirates, thus referring to the worst generation, including Blackbeard. And we cut into a flashback between Yamato and Ace, where Ace is freaking out because he accidentally let slip that his brother was going to become king of the pirates, and that he said it out loud. He said, "Don't laugh at my little brother. Me and Sabo won't allow it." Now this, I love this because I love Sabo as a character. He was so cool, and I'm glad that we got him back and that he has Ace's Mara no Mi, and he's carrying on his will. Anyway, let's get back to the review. Yamato screams Ace's name and says, "I'm not gonna laugh at him," while thinking that those were the King of the Pirates' words. He also said the same thing, which was great because I just love the parallels between Luffy and Roger and how they're basically the same person going about this, but Luffy's still, his charismatic self, and Roger was also a charismatic, goofy individual from the Odin flashback. So then Yamato says that she read the same thing in Odin's journal, that there was a great man who said the same thing, which Ace responds, "A great man? That's good to hear. Maybe one day Luffy and I should sit down and drink with him," which is comedic in a sense because Ace does not even realize that he's talking about that the great man is his own dad, which you'll love to see it. Ace did not know what to think of Roger growing up because of all of the people that said he was the worst, he was the devil, and if he ever had a child, he would be the child of a devil. Which you gotta love it, because I really do think that Ace would have been really great friends with his own dad, trying to live up in his footsteps. But Yamato says, I bet you would have gotten along because he is already dead. Ace says, you're talking about a dead guy? And he doesn't even know. We then cut to see that Yamato is the one that gave Ace his Viver card. And that's the piece that Luffy took from him so that they know where he is. After this, Ace leaves the country and Yamato says, let's meet again one day. And he says, you bet. Now, we all know what happened 2 years ago at the Paramount War, or War of the Best, or Marineford. Ace fell and his Viver card vanished off the face of the planet. After the flashback is over, we cut to see Luffy running up the stairs to the roof, where he is greeted by Law, Kid, Killer, and Zoro standing on the roof facing down Big Mom and Kaido. I just love the reactions here because you just have two of the world's Yonko staring down these 5 pirates from the supernovas, and they're just staring them down, just looking at them. And Kid says, and here's another one, all of you stay back and watch me fight. There's no way Kid is handling 2 Yonkos at his level. There's no way. I mean, unless he does something that we have never seen before, because granted, we haven't seen a lot of attacks from Kid, but what it seems is he's just using his mechanical arm to smash things and naming them different moves. But we could see some really cool stuff, like maybe he throws around scrap metal and then has like a Hellzone grenade from Piccolo where he just brings them all to a center point and attacks the Yonko. But we don't know. Honestly, it just looks like Big Mom and Kaido was literally waiting with the supernovas for Luffy to come up and be the final challenger. It just looks like they want to fight him by himself. And I just love the energy that's going on in this double page spread. The art looks fantastic. Everybody looks menacing and ready to go. Now onto the next page. Luffy looks past Big Mom and Kaido and walks right past them. As this is going on, Kaido says, do you know what this brat said to me? And Big Mom says, yeah, he said the same thing to me and destroyed my castle. Straw Hat, you gonna have to apologize for that. But Luffy just walks right past them without giving them any time of day and goes towards Kinemon and picks him up. He says, are you alright? I'm sorry it took so long. And Kinemon, coughing up all of that blood, and Luffy looking at all the rest of the scabbards, says, I have nothing to show to Lord Odin but my shame. And you can literally feel what he is saying, because it took them several months or 20 years to do this, and they lost to Kaido again. But he, in one last act, he says, will you put Wano on your back? And Luffy responds, of course I will. It's my friend's country. And we all know that this has happened before in Alabasta with Vivi. So we know Luffy's gonna get the job done this time again. But Kaido isn't waiting anymore after Luffy just walked right past them, and he says, hey boy. But interrupting Kaido, Luffy turns to Law and says, send them down below, before dodging Kaido's Kanabo and going Gear 3, armament hockeyed, and remembering everything that these guys have been through, from the Minks protecting Raizo on Zou, Nekomamushi saying that they would never sell out a comrade to an enemy, to Momo saying he wants to defeat Kaido, to Yasui protecting the rebellion, and to Hyo saying that the rebellion is still here, they are not done. All of this just culminating into one point, and Luffy does the unthinkable in Gear 3. He adds flame to it and punches Kaido in the side of the face with his new technique called Red Rock. Kaido breaks through the ground, and Big Mom is shocked. She says, "How could you let him do that to you?" And Luffy just lands on the ground and says, "I am Monkey D. Luffy, and I'm the man who will surpass you to become king of the pirates." Now, this, I was jumping for joy because Luffy always says he's gonna be king of the pirates, and we all know he's gonna be king of the pirates. But this man right here, that one panel where it's just him and his silhouette putting his hat on, it just shocked me, and I love it because you just really feel it. And with his new name technique, firing that red rock off into Kaido's face, it really solidified he was not getting one shot this time. This is not going down like Luffy versus Kaido 1. He is here to win and save Wano. Now, I told you guys back earlier in the video that we would be analyzing the statue that was smelted in the side of the face. And this is why. Because when Luffy launched the attack into the side of Kaido's face, it looked like how Ace punched Kaido's statue before, smelted with fire. And I just love the parallels that Oda is drawing right there to connect Luffy to Ace again, with him doing Red Rock and him doing Red Hawk. It's just a beautiful memory of Ace, and I love it. Luffy is really solidifying his place as the king of the pirate when he gets there, because none of the other supernovas that are right there did anything. And I mean, I'm not really expecting Zoro to have like first dibs on Kaido, but between Kid and Law, I don't know how they're gonna match up with him, because I mean, Law's ability is really good and so is Kid's, but Luffy is literally showing us time and time again, because the story is following him, why he will be the king of the pirate. And between Law and Kid, we haven't really seen much from them like exuding anything pertaining to being king of the pirates. I mean, with Law, we had the Doflamingo and the Virgo fight, which was really great, but we haven't seen him do anything in terms of the story. And Luffy is he's not even a fifth emperor anymore. He is literally past that. He is beyond that. Like, all of the other ones are below him, and he's here to show them why. Now, I know this is my first video on the channel, but I just want to say that if you stuck around to the end, thank you. Like and subscribe. You know, I want to really bring most of this content of One Piece to you guys, and this was a phenomenal chapter to talk about as my first video on the channel, and it's chapter 1000, man. I love it. Oda really gave us something special with this chapter. It's definitely going down in history as prime One Piece chapters, and it's amazing, the connections between Ace, Luffy, Yamato, Kaido, Odin, Momo, all of that. And I'm just excited to see where Wano goes from here. I know we're still in Act 3 and it's most likely ending soon, but I don't know. What will Act 4 bring, and what will be the intermission between that? Oda said that this will be the year of Shanks, and I'm really hoping that we find out what happened to Sabo and Vivi at the Reverie, and I'm really glad. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and here's for chapter 1000.